to Farrington Family Schoolhouse. I know it has been a hot minute since I've posted a video. I apologize for that. I really took just a mental health week last week and kind of into this week as well. Actually, when I'm filming this, you probably won't see this until the week after, so I think it'll be like 2 weeks before you've seen a video on Farrington Family Schoolhouse, so I apologize for that. But I needed to take a bit of a breather. I create a lot of content and I was feeling a little bit burnout, but I am back, and today I have a book haul for you. I'm gonna be sharing all of the books that I have purchased for my daughter, my 6-year-old daughter, to read independently in school. And I can't wait to share these with you because reading is such a passion of mine. Books are such a passion of mine, and they kind of always have been. Reading has always been kind of my way of escaping when there's a lot going on. It's just so good to immerse yourself in a good book, and I feel like books are a nice coping tool as well. It's like a healthy coping mechanism. Coping mechanisms are something I'm working on with my 6-year-old daughter, and I feel like books are a really good distraction coping technique. You know, when you feel overwhelmed with big emotions, there's nothing better than getting lost in a good story, wrapping yourself in the words of a book. So that's why books are so important to me, and I'm really hoping that I can instill a love of reading and learning in my own children. So I'm going to be showing you, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 books today that I have picked up that my daughter will be reading independently. I will say she's a very advanced reader. Just to give you an idea of her reading level, she's 6 and she has read 4 of the Harry Potter books on her own. The first 4 Harry Potter books she's read completely independently. So if I had to pick like a reading level that these books might be appropriate for, I would say probably 3rd grade and up. She is in 1st grade, but she reads at a very advanced level. So please keep that in mind, and let's just jump right into the books, shall we? So the first book that I want to show you today is called Kate, Shelley, and the Midnight Express, and this was, I'm sorry, I'm gonna try and not get the glare of the ring light. This is the cover of it, and this was a book that was on the Good and the Beautiful reading list. If you are looking for a list of books that are filled with good moral characters and really wholesome stories, I would highly encourage you to check out the Good and the Beautiful website and download their complete book list. It gives so many options. It's a really nice breakdown, a really cool comprehensive list of book ideas for your kiddos, and this is where I found Kate, Shelley, and the Midnight Express. Let me give you a little synopsis here. When a heavy storm destroyed the bridge over Honey Creek near Kate Shelley's home in Moingona, Iowa. I live in Iowa and I've never heard of that place before. 15-year-old Kate bravely rushed out into the storm, saving the lives of 2 men and preventing hundreds of other lives from being lost. This is the true story of a young girl's resourcefulness and courage in the face of great danger. So we like stories about strong female characters who are brave. I think my daughter is gonna love this. This is shorter compared to some of the other books that I got her. This is only 47 pages, and you can see that the print is rather large compared to what she normally reads, but oh, it's not focusing, but you get the idea. The next 2 books I am a huge fan of. I haven't read these 2 that I'm gonna show you, but the series in general I'm a huge fan of. The Tuttle twins book series. Oh my goodness, you guys, we love these. So the first one is called The Tuttle Twins and the Fate of the Future. So let me just read the synopsis on the back. Should we coerce others to get what we want? The history of the world is a tale of some people bossing others around, but brave thinkers have always offered ideas for a better future where people use persuasion instead. And after Ethan and Emily, which are the 2 main characters in the Tuttle Twins books, after Ethan and Emily watch a dystopian film portraying a future full of coercion, they realize that they need to learn how to avoid it. The next one is called The Tuttle Twins and the Education Vacation, again by Connor Boyack. And the synopsis of this one is school the best way to get an education. Ethan and Emily Tuttle have spent several years in school being graded on the quality of their work, but after hearing an award-winning teacher discuss some problems with schooling and share a vision for how children are best educated, the Tuttle family decides to embark on new learning adventures. That sounds quite familiar. Homeschool anyone? I'm really excited. I might have to have Vivienne read this one to me because I would personally like to hear what's in this one. Next up, we have the Swiss Family Robinson, a very classic book. I will say I did not pick this up recently. I bought this book last year and we never got to it, so I'm including this in her stack of books to grab to read independently this year. And let me pause and explain. When I say read independently, she's not just encouraged to read within our school time limits. We typically do our school day between 9 and 1 each day, sometimes 9 to 12, just depending on how quickly we can get through our work. And usually when we finish language arts, it encourages us to do 10 minutes of independent reading. And she does grab one of her independent books, one of these books that I'm showing you, for that time. But I really like for her to spend time outside of school immersing herself in a good book. So, you know, if I send her to her room for some quiet time, she can read one of these books then. If she asks to watch TV or be on her computer, but I feel like she hasn't done enough reading for the day, I'll ask her to dive into one of her books. And again, she will choose from one of these, whichever one she's reading at the moment. So I hope that makes sense. Reading is not just an activity that we do during the school day, it's something we try to incorporate into our whole day. So the Swiss Family Robinson, again, it's a classic. Let me read the back to you. Their ship ravaged by a furious storm, the Robinson family become marooned on a remote island with little more than the clothes on their backs. Now they must rely on their wits, courage, and strong family ties to survive. Join the family on their thrilling adventures as they struggle to turn the strange and bewildering island into a place they can call home. The book that Vivienne is currently reading, we actually just got this, I think at the beginning of the week, and she's already almost halfway through the book. This is called In Grandma's Attic, and this was another book that was on the Good and the Beautiful recommended book list. So, as a little girl, Arleta never would have guessed what her grandma was up to when she was her age. That is, until she discovered the secrets hidden in her grandma's attic. Everything she found sparked a tale of grandma's life in simpler times and a life lesson her grandma had learned. A quilt square reminded her grandma to avoid pride. A shoe button inspired a story about honesty. And what was the wire thing grandma wore? But the most amazing thing Arleta discovered? Grandma had been a little girl just like she was, trying to be good but often getting into trouble, sometimes without even meaning to. Filled with fun and laughter, Grandma Stories will whisk you away to another time and place. This is actually a series, and I only purchased one in the series, but if she ends up enjoying this, which she is so far, I'll go ahead and get her a few more in the series. So that is In Grandma's Attic, Book 1 by Arleta Richardson. The next book I'm going to share with you is called Trouble for Lucy by Carla Stevens. This was also recommended on the Good and the Beautiful book list, and I honestly, I mean, it looks like a good book, but I kind of got it because Vivienne's best friend's name is Lucy, and I thought she would get a kick out of having a book that had her best friend's name in the title. So let me read the back to you though, because it does actually seem like a good story. Lucy, get that dog away from here. How often do I have to tell you that he is not to go near the oxen? Lucy's father is touchy because he's worried about her mother, who's expecting a baby any day. The year is 1843 and the Stewart family is immigrating to Oregon by wagon train, and Finn, Lucy's frisky fox terrier, just can't seem to stay out of mischief. One day when the wagons break camp to move on, Finn is nowhere to be found. Lucy knows her father will be angry, but she can't help that. She simply has to sneak away from the wagon train and search for her missing puppy. Carla Stevens' story is based on actual journals of the pioneers' journey to Oregon. The text combines with Ronald Himmler's striking illustrations to evoke an exciting time in American history. I really enjoyed learning about history in school, and I'm really excited to get to a stage where I'm teaching history again because it's fascinating. So I think this will be a good one. Next, we have a book called Primrose Day by Carolyn Haywood. Again, this was on the Good and the Beautiful book list. There is the cover. Mary Primrose Ramsey is almost 7 years old and lives in England with her parents and Greggy, her Scotty dog. But then the war begins and Mary is sent to live with relatives in the United States. On the other side of the big ocean, Mary meets her American family and goes to a new school with her cousin Jerry. At first, Mary's new life isn't so happy. The children at school tease her because of the way she talks, and her parents are far away and in danger. But life in America is full of surprises. There are picnics in a treehouse, a carrier pigeon with a special message, fishing trips, and even a field of primroses, just like in England. And then, at Christmas, there's the most wonderful surprise of all, and that's for Mary alone, and one that's for Mary alone. So this looks very sweet. I'm very Vivienne really gravitates towards books with strong female characters. I think I said that in the beginning of this video, so I think she'll enjoy this one as well. Keeping in line with strong females, we have a book called The Extraordinary Life of Katherine Johnson. The story of a woman whose brain power changed the world. Katherine Johnson was a child who loved numbers, who went on to become one of the most important people in the history of space travel. Katherine proved that her knowledge and hard work were absolutely essential when the odds were stacked against her. And when the time came, Katherine was the mathematician who sent the very first humans to the moon. How cool is that? Like, I don't know. I think this is going to be fascinating. I'm somewhat familiar with Katherine Johnson, but I'm excited for Vivienne to learn that it's to see an example of a woman being extremely smart and using her intellect to do really big things in the world, I think is awesome. So those are all the books that I have to show you in today's book haul. I hope you enjoyed seeing this video. I will go ahead and link all the books down below and you can check those out for your kiddos if you like. Again, I would say they are probably more appropriate for ages or grades 3 and up, but you know your child better than anyone else, so purchase at your own discretion. And I will see you guys in the next video. Bye!